TFA fam. So good to be back with all of you. Thank you for joining. I'm feeling fantastic. Penn State took care of Auburn. Had Five Guys for dinner. What a delicious burger Five Guys is.
They're pretty good. I like what's the other one? Damn it. Now I'm blanking on the name of the place. It's very good though. Five Guys is pretty good. It's a little greasy. Delicious. It is. It's really good. It's not Smash Burger. It's Jesus. Come on, man. It's one of those places.
This is
awkward.
Great start.
This is awkward. Well, I got some tacos and a burrito and some guacamole at a lovely place. I actually went, it was a little warm today, did some yard work, got a frozen beverage as well with some vodka. And then I came back here and did all sorts of science for props. So I got to say, Code, we absolutely killed it last week.
I was going to say that was going to be my lead in, but I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, went 5-1 last week. You swept. The only one I missed, Aaron Jones, just had an absolutely perfect, like that game script couldn't have been any better for Aaron Jones to hit his over on receiving, and that entire Packers offense just laid a dud. But hey, we'll take it. 5-1. Let's try and keep it rolling this week.
Yeah, man.
Tommy, hit me with your first one, player prop for week 2.
All right. I hope you guys are ready. Marcus Mariota over 31.5 rushing yards. That's at minus 120 against the Rams. That's right. I'm starting this shit off with a Marcus Mariota rushing over, and you can't stop me. No one can stop me. I can just keep talking about Marcus Mariota until I'm done. Last week, he had 72 rushing yards, 12 attempts against the Saints before the Falcons, did what they did. They did what they do. You know what I mean? This week, he's facing off against a Rams defense that gave up 56 yards on the ground to Josh Allen last week. Allen had 10 attempts as well. So, that's kind of comparable to what Mariota did. Mariota should have to use his legs early and often in this game because, I mean, the Rams have a strong defense. I mean, unless they don't code, and if they don't, then that's fine too. But he should be scrambling. He should have to get out of the pocket and, he's going to pick up some yards on the ground. So either way, I like Mariota to scramble, have enough designed runs to hit this number, and I like him to do it pretty early in the game, man. Last week, fun fact, my 3 main bets were all over before the second half even started. All first half games, baby. We're going to do it again. Let's do it again.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
I'm going to start off with Russell Wilson over 246.5 passing yards overall on DraftKings. I can't believe this number is under 250. Like, I get it. It's Houston. And, maybe they put the line here because they're thinking that they're not going to have to throw a ton. But, 246.5 just feels like a little too low. Matt Ryan threw for 352 yards last week, and 291 of that came during regulation. The Broncos have the 3rd highest implied point total on the weekend. The Chiefs had the highest, but obviously they've already played. So with the remaining teams, the Broncos have the 3rd highest point total. They're, I think, 10-point home favorites. In order to get to that point, they're not just going to be hitting the ball off the entire time. So I think Russ in his first home game with the Broncos is going to want to show out. So 246.5 is just a touch too low for me. I think he hits that one with ease.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he decides to throw to his wide receivers before the second half, I think he can hit that number. Yeah. That was an absolute train wreck last week. So great job, dipshits. All right, next bet. We're going to go with another quarterback, another rushing prop. We're going to go Trey Lance over 44.5 rushing yards against those Seattle Seahawks that Russ had to face last week. He will have more than 2 yards, which is what Russ had. The fact that the 49ers lost to the Bears is it's pretty gross. But what isn't gross is Trey Lance when he runs the ball. Last week, he started the season off with 13 attempts, 54 yards. It was gross out. I still expect him to get between like 10 and 13 carries a week. So including the 3 games last year that Lance started or played majority of the snaps in last year, Lance has now gained 215 rushing yards in those 4 games, Code. According to my calculations, he averages just under 54 rushing yards per game when he starts. That is
Hashtag math.
Hold on. Yep, it is. Checking the math. It's more than 44 and a half rushing yards. That's right. Breaking news. 54 is greater than 44. So simple math and a matchup against the Seahawks at home. I like it. Trey Lance over 44 and a half rushing yards.
I like it. I did not realize he had that many rushing yards last week.
He did. I mean, he basically had to paddle through some of those. But yeah, he had that many rushing yards.
Running on top of water.
He was in a pontoon. He's running on top of water like football Jesus. I don't even know. That was Justin Fields just sliding across the field. Congratulations. You ruined a parlay.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was a weird weekend, man. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
To keep moving, second one I have for tonight is Christian Kirk over 58.5 receiving yards. We heard all throughout training camp that Kirk was the guy for Trevor Lawrence, and we saw that play out in week 1. Kirk saw 12 targets last week. That came out to a 31.6% target share. He put up 117 yards, and he only caught 6 of those 12 targets. So if Trevor Lawrence can start to get a little bit more accurate, the game right here is only a 3-point spread going up against the Colts as well. So I think they have an applied point total of 21, which isn't great, but it's certainly enough. I think we saw some of the glimpses of Trevor Lawrence and that connection with Christian Kirk. Only one of those targets was a deep target as well. So I know one of his catches was like 49 yards. So that obviously equated out to almost half of his receiving total. But it's not like he was just getting bomb after bomb downfield. Like I said, only one deep target last week. So in a game where hopefully, obviously now that we're missing Michael Pittman, who knows what that's going to do to the Indy offense. But I do like Kirk over 58.5 yards. He lined up in the slot for like 95% of his snaps last week. So I think that continues, obviously, going to make life easier on him, make life easier on Trevor Lawrence. So over 58.5 yards. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I like that one. I like that one a good bit. And I think the Jags Colts. That's silly. Remember that game last year? Oh, Jesus. It was horrible. All right. Next bet. I'm going to go with Michael Carter. Over 19.5 receiving yards. That's at minus 115. His receptions are 2.5. That's at minus 150 against the Browns. My man Michael Carter had 9 targets last week, caught 7 for 40 against the Ravens. This week he's going against the Browns, who pretty much shut down CMC through the air last week. Actually, did Cleveland shut him down or did Ben McAdoo? I don't know. Yeah. He is a walking dumpster fire of a coach. So but I digress. Either way, between Breece Hall and Michael Carter, the Jets running backs had 13 catches last week and 78 yards through the air. That's thanks to Joe Flacco and his conservative little noodle arm that he's got going on right now. And his, I don't know, how old is he? 40 now? Probably about there. So while it's a tough matchup overall for the Jets, I think that 19.5 number is too low. And Carter's going to come in. I think he's going to get over 30 yards in this one, 35 through the air. So that 19.5 number is a bit too low. I think that 2.5 number is pretty easy. So if you want to get a same game parlay with both those numbers, see if you can, and then just kind of go from there, boost your odds.
You're never going to hear me say no to anything Michael Carter related. But you said
Michael
that number
Carter.
seemed.
Yep. I could figure something out.
You said the number for Michael Carter seemed a little low. I have another
Yeah.
receiving total that seems low, and that is Stephon Diggs at 69.5 yards. I was expecting this to
Nice.
be like in the mid to upper 70s, especially after what he did last week with going for $1.22. But again, the only thing I can think of is like the Russell Wilson prop is that the Bills are 10-point home favorites. Like maybe they're not going to have to throw the ball as much. They control this game.
It doesn't matter.
But to
It really
that,
doesn't matter, does it?
it doesn't because they
They're going to
controlled the
chuck
game
the ball.
last. They
Right.
controlled the game last week against the Rams, beat them by 20. Allen still tossed for almost 300 yards. Like I said, Diggs 122 yards. That was a 29% target share what he saw. And now Gabe Davis is questionable for this game. He was a late addition to the injury report for the Bills. Came in on Saturday with an ankle injury. So that's obviously something to monitor. So if he's limited or even out, then this line I love even more. So I would hurry up and get on that now before some of that news starts to come out and this line starts to drive up at like 69.5 yards. That's too low for Stephon Diggs. And like I said, it doesn't matter to me. I know one of the Titans corners, one of their starting corners is out as well. I think Fulton is out, I want to say. So I mean it's all just lining up, and it's not like the Bills have a running game that they're gonna quote unquote lean on whenever they get up, right? Like Josh Allen's still gonna drop back and throw it. They don't have that grinder type of running back. They have a couple of like decent okay backs, but not one they're just gonna sit and hand the ball off to 18 times that game. So love this one over 69.5.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in just constantly trying to run the ball when you have Josh Allen who can drop back and run the ball if he needs to, or hit you on an easy slant to Diggs or something along those lines. So I have 16 more bets. I was going over them with Cody. We've both gone. That was your third, right? My third. We already did 3. All right, so I'm gonna give you a 4th, and then I can talk a little bit about
A
the other
5th,
ones.
a 6th, a 7th.
Yeah, I got 7, but I don't necessarily have to go through all of them. All right, last one, kind of. DeAndre Swift over 58.5 rushing yards. That's at minus 115 against Washington. Man, did he look good last week or what? That was fun and horrible to watch because he's playing against the Eagles. So good. Broke up a 50-yarder against the Eagles, wound up with 144 yards on the ground for the day. Much more effective than Jamal Williams, who is still a pain in the ass, especially near the goal line, but that's not what we're betting. But it is really clear that Swift is the guy in Detroit. That offense runs around him. That 58.5 should be smashed against the Commanders. What a lame-ass name, Cody. The Commanders. I mean, they thought about that.
Better.
Right. They thought about that for months and came up
Years
with that. Yeah, well, that trash name. Absolute trash. Anyway, sorry. They gave up 110 yards on the ground last week to James Robinson and Travis Etienne. I mean, I think DeAndre should swiftly hit that number early. All right. And you can spend the second half counting your money. So I really like Swift there. I can run through the other ones really quick. I'll just tell them.
We do have a bunch in the chat to get to as well.
I'm just going to run through them. I'm not going to give you my breakdown. I do have a breakdown, so if you want to hear the breakdown, just put it in the chat and I'll go over it. Leonard Fournette over 60.5 rushing yards against the Saints. He looked awesome last week. I still like Javonte Williams. That's over 3.5 receptions. That's at plus 120, by the way, and 21.5 receiving yards. 11 catches last week. That's just insanity to me. So we'll see if he can do that again, but he looks like the clear receiving back. And we're going to go with the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to pick a wide receiver. Allen Lazard looks like he's coming back. He's got 37.5 receiving yards, minus 115 against Detroit. I mean, that one comes down about trust. It's his 5th year with Rodgers, and Rodgers trusts him probably more than any other wide receiver on the team. So looks like we can kind of say, all right, Allen Lazard, let's go. And that's against Detroit. So that was real quick. The quick version. Your welcome code. And let's get to some of the other props.
Let's get to it. Got to give a shout out to our guy Walito, always coming through with the super chats. Appreciate you. If you're new to the show, please hit us with a like and a subscribe as well. I think we just hit 3,300 subscribers, so starting to make our way toward 4K. So any help in getting there is much appreciated. Alexis coming through. Alexis is awake. Alexis is up, not asleep in the Canadian time zone that Alexis is in. So we appreciate Alexis.
Good job, eh? She's awake. She's all sugared up from that maple syrup.
Not a he.
He.
It's a male. Anyway.
No, I said a. Like, how you doing,
You said she. And all right. Anyway, Jonathan.
Oh, did I? Oh, my bad.
Jonathan Taylor over rushing without Pittman. I mean, is there ever an under to take?
Never. Don't do it.
I don't know what is Ravens money line against the Dolphins. I think they're 3.5 point favorites, if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head.
Let's go here really quick there.
I think that's what it is.
3.5.
Yes, 3.5. So the money line, is -190 on DK.
Okay.
I don't mind it.
Nope. And I like that against if you're going to put that in like a parlay or something.
Yeah.
Thomas. So who's going to? I'll wait. Go ahead.
Okay.
We're good.
Good evening, fellow D-Gens. I've got Kareem Hunt over 8.5 rushing attempts at -130. Javonte, you already hit on his 1 yard higher, 22.5. And then Thomas says this isn't a prop, but Seahawks +9.5 looks like a gift.
I mean, the Seahawks looked good last week, but I don't know how much that was Denver just being ill prepared. I'm blanking. Who are they playing? Come on,
Niners.
Thomas. What did I? This just skipped a week.
The Niners.
Come on,
the 49ers.
Against the Niners. I know, against the Niners. 9.5. 49ers. I don't mind that at all. That looks pretty good.
San Fran.
Yeah, man, that looks pretty good.
Throw that one in a teaser, huh?
Yeah. No, definitely. I like that.
Here comes the start of Walito's scroll. Kirk Cousins over 280.5 against your Birds.
Always, yes. Should be fine.
Man.
It's a big number, but I expect a lot of points to be scored in that game. The one thing the Eagles typically have problems with is, accurate quarterbacks who can get the ball out early and dominant wide receivers. I mean, we thought we had a decent secondary, and last week they did not do very well against Detroit. And then their run defense wasn't that good unless Jordan Davis was in. But if you go back and look at the film, it may not have been like all Jordan Davis is just scheme stuff. So that defense struggled. They have some things to figure out. So that's why I don't mind that at that 280 at all. I think he could go over 300 yards pretty easy.
There's a lot of new pieces for that Philly defense.
There is, and I think
the free agency, the draft, everything else.
Yeah, they need some time to kind of gel and come together. And Jonathan Gannon needs to figure out, okay, this is what I got to do. I got to blitz here. He struggled really early on in the season last year too. So we'll see if this is a trend.
How do you feel about Nahim Heinz over 30.5 receiving?
I mean, Nahim Heinz receiving yards is always, it's a good bet. Especially with Michael Pittman out, so they're going to scheme to the running backs more often.
And I don't know if he cleared it or not, but I could have sworn I saw something with Alec Pierce popped up after the game with concussion symptoms, I think.
I think he's out.
Okay. Out of the protocol or out of the...
No, I think he was declared out.
Oh, Ashton Dolan week. Let's go. Javonte over 84.5 total yards. I like that one. I like his rushing total as well. That's another one I couldn't believe. Like his rushing total was only at 58.5.
Yeah,
I think that's influenced a lot by what we saw last week with how they were handing the ball off more to Melvin. And speaking of, what an absolute gift we got last week with Melvin's total only at 37.5. We will never see that line that low again for the rest of the year. JT over 2.5 receptions. This one I do not like.
Yeah, he usually comes in around, 1 or 2. So there's games where he's going to wind up with 6. Who knows? I don't mind taking both of those running backs in receiving, because I think you're going to hit at least one of them. And if you hit both, then that's fine. I don't think you're not going to hit. You're not going to come away empty if you go both of them.
Elijah Moore over 4.5 receptions because it's at plus money. I don't mind that one. I saw that one too. I don't mind that.
No, but Elijah Moore's a son of a bitch. I needed 49.5 yards from him last year. Or 50 yards, and he got 49. That was the one I lost. It was a half a yard.
What a kick to the D. Alexis is also saying that all of the Bucs wide receivers are questionable. If any of them plays, the other two don't. I think I might bet the over if whoever plays. The play here, Alexis, is just to take Tom Brady's under. That's another one I like that I did not mention. Tom Brady under on his passing yards. I like Gibson's over on his rushing yards, and I had another one escape me. I'll think about it. Tommy, you brought up Leonard Fournette over 14.5 rushing attempts. This one from Walito, and it wouldn't be a prop week if Walito didn't bring up a Brandon Cooks prop over 5.5 receptions. Any thoughts on that one?
It's Brandon Cooks. What? Probably. Who knows? Bears.
Saquon over 28.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, so if you look at the total rushing and receiving in this game, it's Saquon against CMC, and it's like 110.5 and 109.5.
Like 108.
So,
yeah,
they're within a yard of each other. It's going to be hopefully that's a fun game to watch the running backs because CMC gets going. I like Saquon's total, the rushing and receiving, a little bit more than the receiving yards, just because you don't really know what they're going to do there. They might expose the run defense in Carolina and just pound the ball with him, and he's going to break up a long one. So I prefer the combination, but the 28.5 is not bad at all.
Yeah. Toxic. How are you?
What up?
My prop last one for the show is a player parlay. Derek Carr over 400 passing yards and Hollywood over 100 receiving yards at plus 2,800.
All right. Yeah. There's a reason it's plus 2,800.
Right.
But that's a fun one.
I'm glad Walito brought up Derek Carr. Darren Waller is only sitting at 48.5 for his receiving total.
Yeah, that's not bad. What Adams is at, like, what, 91?
Like
97?
97, I think. Yeah.
97, yeah.
Alexis, good luck to you. Appreciate you rocking with us. Sure, we'll see you in the Discord tomorrow morning. Link is in the description for the Discord. If anyone who is new here wants to join, absolutely free. Go ahead and click the link and you can jump in. We have channels for props and bets for Dynasty, DFS, redraft, whatever you want. We're always talking football in there.
Yeah, a few other ones from Monday night. I was just going through these really quick, and these just kind of piqued my interest. Hurts over 49.5 yards rushing. I like that. A.J. Brown over 5.5 receptions. I mean, after what he did before, that's the guy there. Justin Jefferson over 7.5 catches. He'll probably have like roughly 26 catches. And then A.J. Brown 75.5 yards and Jefferson 97.5. So that gives you an idea that Vegas thinks these guys are going to have some good games. So if you're going to do some same game parlay stuff, try and stack that stuff. You can bring some of them down if you don't feel comfortable with it. But Monday Night Football should have a lot of offense and be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. I'm excited for that one. So
Yeah.
if there are no other props, Tom, that you have, nothing else in the chat, we can go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. I will say that we will be live again tomorrow morning. Me, Robbie, and Matt Girardi will be live at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning to answer any like redraft lineup questions you have, any kind of like late waiver ads, anything like that. Streaming questions will be live from 11 to about 12:30, 12:45 on this very channel tomorrow morning. Plus 1,000 for Sanders over 100 rushing and Jefferson over 100 receiving.
Happened last week, so I like it.
Boom. Yahtzee. Jump in the Discord. Like I said, we're always throwing around different props and bets. I'll put a teaser in there, which mine was just blown up, I think, by the first game. Just destroyed with the first game with the Steelers beating Cincy. That just
at least the Colts didn't cost you two different parlays. So the Colts tying cost me a parlay with, it was Jonathan Taylor over 150 yards rushing, Jonathan Taylor to score a touchdown, and the Colts to win. The one I thought would be the shoe-in was busted it. And then it was another, I had actually two more. I had a tease that the Colts blew, and then I had a parlay, a 14 parlay that the Colts blew. So I had a really good day Sunday, and it would have been really good if the Colts just didn't act like jackasses.
If they would have done what everyone thought they were going to do.
Yes, so it is what it is. It's okay.
And now they're only 3-point favorites against the Jags because of it.
Yep, they are. Revenge game.
Indeed.
Gotta love it.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Make sure you hit us with a like and a sub if you're not yet subscribed to the channel. Listen, jump in the Discord. Always talking stuff over there, and we'll see you all next week.